Welcome back to the Datarekha audio guide. I'm Diya.
And I'm Arjun. Today, a number that should bother you. A typical news article is 50 kilobytes of HTML, and only about 2 of those kilobytes are the actual story.
So 48 kilobytes of what exactly?
Navigation bars, ads, cookie banners, tracking pixels, script blocks, structured markup that means absolutely nothing to a language model. The web was built for browsers, not for models. And if you feed that raw HTML straight into your context window, you pay tokens for all the noise, you confuse the model with markup syntax, and you make retrieval less precise.
So the model's basically reading a web page with all the junk mail still stapled to it.
That's the picture. What you actually want is clean markdown. Just the prose, the headings, the code blocks. On a docs page, that's roughly 8,000 tokens of raw HTML versus 1,500 of markdown. Smaller, higher signal, cheaper to run, more focused retrieval, and fewer hallucinations from the model tripping over tags.
Okay, but stripping HTML down to text? That's a solved problem, surely. Why does this need a whole service?
Because of a second, nastier problem. Modern sites render in the browser. You do a simple HTTP GET on a React or next.js page, and what comes back is a near-empty skeleton. The real content only shows up after the JavaScript runs. A naive scraper grabs the skeleton and walks away with nothing.
So you need an actual browser running, not just a fetch?
A headless browser. A real browser with no screen, executing the page's JavaScript. And running one of those reliably across thousands of URLs is operationally expensive and annoying. That's the gap Firecrawl fills. Hosted service, also open source and self-hostable. You hand it a URL, it hands you back clean markdown or structured JSON. J is rendering, boilerplate removal, pagination, all handled.
So what can I actually ask it to do? Give me the verbs.
3 operations. Scrape is the unit move. 1 URL. Render the JavaScript, strip the boilerplate. Give me back 1 markdown document. Crawl starts from a seed URL and follows the internal links, up to a depth and a page limit you set, scraping each one. So you ingest a whole doc site in a single call. And extract is the different one.
Different how?
Scrape and crawl give you prose. Extract gives you structure. You hand Firecrawl a schema. Say title, author, published date, summary, or just a plain English description of the fields you want, and it returns clean JSON. That's what you reach for when you don't want the whole article, you want the 3 data points. Prices of a set of product pages. Publication dates. Author names.
Let me test that. I've got it. My agent needs a competitor's pricing page and it's a React app. Which one?
Scrape. It's a single URL. So it's the unit operation. And Firecrawl's headless browser renders the React app before it extracts anything. So you get the real, populated page, not the empty shell a plain get would have handed you. Crawl would be overkill. Extract would only make sense if you wanted the prices as structured fields rather than the page as prose.
And where does this slot into a real system?
2 integration points. One is RAG ingestion, offline batch. A nightly job crawls your doc site, chunks the markdown, embeds each chunk, pushes it all into a vector store. The other is the agent tool, online, Lev. You wrap scrape as a function the model can call, so a research assistant or a support bot can read any URL at query time and reason over what comes back.
On that nightly crawl though, that feels like exactly where you'd get burned. What's the guard?
You've spotted the operational landmine. Crawls are metered and they're greedy. Picture your doc site is 200 pages today. Fine. Then someone adds a new section with 1,000 pages and your unguarded crawl silently balloons your bill overnight. So you always set a limit and a max depth. Cap it. So a growing site can't quietly run away with your quota.
And there's a manners side to this too, not just a money side.
An important one. Firecrawl respects robots.txt by default, but you are still on the hook for the site's terms of service and its rate limits. Never crawl something that prohibits automated access. And one more. For the RAG case specifically, web content can be stale or flat out wrong. So verify any critical fact from a retrieved passage before you act on it.
One last practical thing. When it's an agent tool, do I really pass the model the whole page?
No. And this is a nice little discipline. Pass back only the first 4 to 8,000 characters of the markdown. Most of the signal lives in the opening sections anyway, and trimming keeps your context window sane. If the agent genuinely needs more, it can just call the tool again with a more specific sub-URL. Let it pull more on demand instead of drowning it up front.
So the one sentence to keep.
The web is full of what your model needs and wrapped in everything it doesn't. Firecrawl is the layer that renders the page, throws away the wrapping, and hands you only the signal.
Signal in, noise out. That's the Datarekha audio guide. See you in the next one.